Hey guys, yesterday I showed you the comic books I picked up, which was Batman Detective Comics and DCUO Legends number 15. Now, I picked this up today because I heard good things about this comic, and that is Aquaman number 1. This came out last week, and I didn't want to pick it up. I mean, the art looks amazing, but then I didn't really want to pick it up. I heard good things about this comic, and I read it, and I have to say it's very good. Now, before I go on to the review, I have to mention something that I didn't mention in my videos yesterday. Now, my current review of Teen Titans number 1, I talked about a white-hooded woman who appears in the New 52 and a couple of the number 1 issues. Now, I figured out who she is. Now, people are wondering, she has no significance in this whole thing at all. Why is she in here? That's what I thought too. Now, here's my answer to who she is. Now, back in Flashpoint, not in the tie-in series, but in the arc with the Flashpoint series, the 5-issue Flashpoint series, there's a lady who pops up in Flashpoint number 5 when Flash is running back to the present to stop himself from saving his mom. There's this lady, just a red-faced lady, and she's talking about the universe and whatnot. I found out that this white-hooded lady is her, and what she is doing in the comics, people say she doesn't have a reason to be in there, but she does. The reason why she's in there, I heard that she's in here, she's watching over this new DC universe, like how they rebooted the whole series. She's there to watch over how everything is going. Now, she's not as in watching the whole universe, but she's watching as in if DC, the New 52, doesn't work so well, she will, be all okay, heroes, wake up, this is a dream. If the New 52 doesn't go really well, that's their key to reset everything. That's why she's there. She's there to watch over this new DC universe. And if this new DC universe doesn't work out, she will reset everything and everything will go back to normal. Which kind of confuses people, but all in all, I think the New 52 is doing great. Hopefully it does good. I know a lot of people have been buying a lot of the number 1 issues, but now is where we will all get seriously and see how it will really do. Because people will just buy number 1 issues just to see how the story will go. And then, currently they're on maybe in the number 3s and 4s. That's when we will still keep buying the comics, depending on how the story holds up. So on to the review of Aquaman. Now, Aquaman is a great comic book. Number 1 is a great comic book. We open up with these sea creature kind of monsters in the ocean, and they are coming up to the surface. Then we open up to these hooded thugs, or bank robbers, driving a truck, and then they're driving away, and they're being chased by police officers, and then Aquaman appears. Now, at first glance, people will be like, oh, it's Aquaman. Ha ha ha. Oh, he can't do anything. He sucks. And that's what their first, impressions of Aquaman was. When they first saw him, they just made fun of him. They're like, oh, you can't do anything like that. But little did they know, Aquaman took out his trident and just stabbed it right in front of the truck and lifted it up. How strong Aquaman is. He just lifted up a truck with his trident. Now, after that, you get to see more of how, good of a hero Aquaman is. They start firing at him with their guns, and, it bounces off his armor, and, okay, it hits his armor, but you see a couple bullets hit his face, and one does hit his face, but it doesn't, penetrate through his face, it just nicks him, so I guess either it just nicked him in the face, or he has super hard, strong skin, I guess. I don't know. But so after that, they even the police officers thought that Aquaman was useless. But after what Aquaman just did, lift up the truck and take down the robbers, they're all like, oh, I guess we're gonna are totally never gonna let this down. No one at the back at the station is never gonna let us down. That Aquaman outbeat us and stuff like that. And Aquaman just leaps up really high, jumps from building to building, and we go to a restaurant. Now, oddly enough, this restaurant is like, you know, a seafood restaurant. And Aquaman appears. And everybody's in shock. They're like, it's Aquaman. Why is he doing here? You know, like, you're Aquaman, your friends are fish. Why would you want to eat your own kind? And yeah, of course, people question him. You know, he's all like, so what do you would like? And he's like, fish and chips. And they're like, why? You don't eat, you're friends with fish, you talk to fish. And then he's like, oh, no, I don't talk to fish. Fish are too stupid to talk to, you know? I have to, like, how he, like, actually, you know, gets the fish to help him, he doesn't talk to them. He telepathically pushes an idea or forces them to help him, so technically he doesn't even talk to the fish. But he says dolphins are a different kind of thing because dolphins are more intelligent, and I guess maybe he can talk to dolphins. But anyways, you know, then this blogger comes along and starts asking him questions, asking him, why are you eating in this seafood restaurant, you know? And he says, well, because my dad used to take me to this place, and stuff like that. And the blogger pushes it too far, saying that, you know, people make fun of him. Oh, how would you, you know, people like make fun of you on YouTube or online and make viral videos of you. It's like, you know, people make fun of you, you know, how do you feel about that? And he gets furious and outrageous, and of course he leaves the restaurant without even eating his food, but he leaves his money on the table. What he pays is with gold, because of course he's the king of Atlantis, gotta have some gold. But yeah, then we open off where he goes to a lighthouse where his dad used to work. Now his dad was who took care of the lighthouse, and you know he was a lighthouse man, I guess. And yeah, Aquaman, you know, reminisces, and Mira comes along and tells him that he needs to come home. He needs to be king of Atlantis, and Aquaman tells her, "No, I'm not going back. I don't want to because I'm not needed. I feel more, I like it up here. I belong up here, not down there." And, you know, he says he wants to have a life on the surface, not in Atlantis. And then we go on to, you know, we see the sea creatures finally come out on the surface and eat one of the humans. And that's when it says to be continued. Now, what I have to say, this comic is great. I highly recommend you read this. It shows how much of, you know, not a useless character Aquaman is. Because people think that, okay, Aquaman, he can control water, he can talk to fishes, and that's about it, and he can fight. But what this comic shows is more of that he is super strong, that maybe he has a really dense, you know, skin, you know, that's why bullets can bounce off, or I don't know, but, you know, it shows he's super strong, and that he doesn't just talk to fish, he actually pushes an idea into it. And all in all, I think it's great that it shows that he's not useless, because imagine, he's the king of Atlantis. The king of Atlantis. And he lives underwater. And give and take, he's not a normal human being. Normal humans can't live underwater. You know, he can breathe, but like if we were to go down to Atlantis, the pressure of the water would crush our bones. Aquaman lives under that pressure. His strength is immense because of those pressure. He is quite fast and agile, and his agility is enhanced because he lives under that pressure. That helps him, and you know, that's not useless at all. It makes Aquaman a really, really cool superhero. And I highly recommend you guys picking this up. And actually, this comic is pretty funny, how they make fun of, you know, how they say, like, oh, you know, you shouldn't be eating fish. But actually, all in all, you have to learn that just because he's the king of Atlantis and he's friends with fish, or he can, you know, he lives with fish, doesn't mean he can't eat them, because one thing is for sure, he's been king of Atlantis once he got back. Before, he was abandoned, he was thrown off, and a human being, his stepfather, took him in. He found him on the ocean, and he had he found him, but he had, you know, a kid with the past queen of Atlantis, and of course that's his son, so he has to take care of him. Now, you know, he takes care of him, and he treats him like a human being. That's why he said he feels like he doesn't belong in Atlantis, because he lived more as human than an Atlantean. And of course, he's half human and half Atlantean, and his like, I guess the king of Atlantis didn't want him, right? And threw him away. So, of course, he feels like he's not needed. He doesn't belong there because he's not one of them. He feels like he's not one of them. He feels more human than them. But that's great. That gives more depth and character into Aquaman. I'm definitely picking up issue number 2 when it comes out. Highly recommend you guys picking this up. It's great. It's awesome. Funny. You know, check this out. Okay, so talk to you guys later.